Hi again, VC. This is Bev here, ClarkoVision. Thanks for swinging by once more. I wanted to get this video done tonight as well, so I can show, this is the latest updates video, so I can show the stuff I've got and then get it filed away in orders in my collection where I want to put the stuff. So I thought I'll just get on and do this just now. So this is my latest updates, and it just consists of a couple of cheap buys off Amazon, a couple of even cheaper buys off eBay, and what I got with some of my birthday money. So it consists of, let me just check, about 6 CDs, one's a double CD, and one vinyl record. And some good stuff. The first one I'll show because it's different to everything else, but it's I wanted it anyway because I kind of like this stuff. So the first two are going to be the Amazon ones that I got. And I saw this and I thought, oh, this will be interesting because, well, it's classical guitar, and this is, it's actually Bach, and it says English Suites numbers 1 to 3, and they are arranged for 2 guitars. I have a few classical CDs with just the single nylon string guitar arrangements, but I've never picked up one before where there's 2 guitars playing the parts, so I thought, oh, this is going to be cool because, you know, obviously one guitar will be doing one thing and another guitar will be doing something else, and it'll probably blend very beautifully together. I just kind of love listening to some just pure acoustic classical pieces. I think I also like listening to the classical stuff. I would probably go for guitar, then piano, and then violins, I think. I kind of, maybe in that order, I don't know. But, you know, but I do like the solo guitars, just to listen to the, you know, it's the guitar. I just love the guitar. So I picked up this, and it's got... and the 2 guitarists that play are, it's a Montenegrin guitar duo, a couple of guys I've never heard of. I could attempt to pronounce their names. Goran Krivokapis, I'm sorry if that's wrong, and Daniel Serovis, again, sorry if that's wrong, but I don't know how well you can read that. If anybody would like to sort of read what is on the back, hopefully you can. CD was made in Germany. It's Naxos, Naxos is who produced it, so yeah. So, and this is good. I've listened to it already. It's just lovely for chilling out to. So that was my first Amazon piece. And the other one from Amazon, and it was kind of inspired by, I think it was G-Rock. He did a video recently where he showed all his, you know, the very best of the noise years packages that they did on various bands. And it kind of inspired me to have a look, and I thought I would go and pick up this one, the Camelot one, because they're a bit kind of symphonic power metal kind of thing, and Camelot was a band who I had heard of. I knew they were out there, but I'd never really listened to any other stuff. So this is Camelot, the very best of the noise years, and it is 1995 to 2003. And I thought, I'm going to pick this up. Everybody says they're a great way to introduce you to bands, so as you can see, it's a double disc. Inside, and sorry, there's a bit of a glare here. It's the band, and there we have both of these CDs. And I have listened to this. You get the booklet as well. Here is the booklet, and in these you obviously get the whole story, the history of the band. So there we have it. Pretty cool stuff. I've yet to read the full thing. I've just read the first bit of it. But these guys, they're American. They come from Florida, and it says how they right from the get-go, they were focusing on the European market and the style that was that the Europeans were kind of enjoying at that time. So yeah, very interesting stuff. And from what I've heard, I quite like what I've heard. I think I need to give it 1 or 2 more listens just to get used to it. But again, it's probably, I guess, one of the earliest of the kind of symphonic style metal bands. But yeah, I'm quite chuffed to have picked this up and get me discovering yet another band. I mean, there's tons of them. So yeah. And obviously that was pretty cheap, so that was my 2 Amazons. And onto eBay, it was kind of a blind buy. I think I was just browsing and a CD came up and it was cheap. And I watched it for a while. I thought, the cover kind of looked a bit interesting. And I went and Googled them to see what they were, and then I discovered power metal. From Sweden. Okay, yep, they must know their stuff. So I went and I put in a bid and nobody else bid, so I won it. It was a couple of £2.50, I think, plus postage, which was, another £1 or something. And this is the band, and it's Bloodbound. Now, I've not seen too many people show this. I think Howard showed an album from them at one point. But these guys are completely new to me. I had seen a couple of their videos pick up on my YouTube recommended feed at one point as well. So I also went and listened to them, which was more recent stuff like that. This album here is Tabula Rasa. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly either, or Tabula Rasa. This, I believe, is their 3rd album, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong, but I think it's their 3rd album. And this came out in 2009 on Blistering Records, which is this here. And that is the track listing there. Again, sorry for the glare. And so yeah, I put this on when I got it home, and I liked what I was hearing. I thought, this is good. And the CD, I mean, I think the guy said it was barely used. I think the guy said that he basically got the CD, burned it to his iPod or whatever, and that was it. This went on the shelf. So yeah, cool picture CD, produced by Bloodbound. And when I was listening to this album, what came to mind in the odd place, what came to mind was Megadeth. It was a little bit dark sounding in places, I thought. And it just, on a couple of songs, there was bits that I said put me, just hinted me a little bit at Megadeth, kind of. But yeah, fast, power metal, really good, and a little bit on the darker side, shall we describe that? So on that, as I say, I was hunting around for some more Bloodbound, and I grabbed this one. This is another one of their albums. This one's 2011, so this is after Tabula Rasa, and this is, I think it's Nosferatu. I'm really not sure again exactly the pronunciation, but I'm loving the cover art of these things. They're pretty good stuff. So yeah, and at this point they switched to their own AFM records at this point. So So again, this is what the inner looks like here. And again, fantastic, absolutely love it. And you've got this nice little face there. And so I put this one on and I'm listening away, and yeah, I'm loving this. This is really good stuff. And I'm thinking on a couple of these songs, I'm hearing just a little bit that's making, like the other one made me think of Megadeth, this one was kind of making me think of, just in places here and there, Iron Maiden. This one is a bit brighter, and just, you know, you've got the melody of the guitars coming through. Not that there isn't melody on the other one, as I say, it just, I would say that one's a slightly darker theme all round to what this one is. But just brilliant Swedish power metal, really, really excellent. If you're a power metal fan and you haven't checked these guys out, I would recommend you check them out. You know, just go to YouTube for now. And so that was the two I got off eBay that were pretty cheap. And so lastly, that leads me to my birthday money, and I'll show the record first, because I went and purchased Bloodbound's latest album. This is out this year, 2019 AFM Records, and this is Rise of the Dragon Empire. And, you know, look at the cover art, how cool is that? Thought that was pretty cool, I have to say. So yeah, here's the back cover. Again, sorry for the glare, I have it in a sleeve. It is in a gatefold sleeve, so you've got the lyrics here. AFM records tend to do that, I think. It's a single record, but it's a gatefold, so there's only one side. Came just in a plain black inner, but it was on beautiful yellow. I think it comes on, does it come on red as well? But kind of went for the yellow just for a bit of a change. So 180 gram, and this is absolutely wonderful. I love it. It's so, by this point, this is their latest album, and I think, I could be wrong, but as I say, I'm just kind of new to this band as well. I think this is the third album in a kind of a story kind of theme, a concept type album. And in this, you know, it's called Rise of the Dragon Empire. And I think the previous album had something to do with dragons as well, so hence the theme. So at this point, they've kind of gone on to the sort of fantasy lyric kind of thing as well, so kind of fantasy power metal. But this, absolutely, I'm so glad I discovered this band, because they are great. And there's a couple of the guitar solos on here, on a couple of the tracks. They're the most, they've just got so much melody, there's so much feel about them. Two of the best melodic solos I've heard in a long time, and the beauty, I think, behind it is they do not go through the solos at a million notes per second. The guitarist actually takes his time, paces the solo out, and I think, you know, they might speed up a little bit at the end, but the main bulk of the solo, it's just a beautiful piece of guitar work. And so yeah, so this album actually could be one of my favourites for 2019, believe it or not. That's how much I'm enjoying it so far. So I've gone from having no Bloodbound, not really being aware of them, to I'll just put that to the side now, to having 3 of their albums, and all of them are equally really good. I enjoy the whole theme. As it just so happens, I'm going to be sending out a couple of VCLTs. One's already out and the other one's going out at the start of this week, and there will be a couple of Bloodbounds in, because I found another couple cheap as well. There'll be a couple of Bloodbounds in there for the recipient for them to check out as well if they haven't already. If they do, you know, it's the usual applies. You pass it on or whatever. And the last two, which I got with some birthday money, they have been on my wants list. The first one is, really it's thanks to Cloudy Milder that I have landed this one. Forlorn Hope and Over the Hills. This is the debut album from this band, who are a new wave of traditional heavy metal, if you like, or whatever, or new wave of British heavy metal, because they're a British band. They were on Cloudy Milder's mixtape, and then he sent me the EP as part of a trade VCLT thing, which I enjoyed the songs on there, and I had been contemplating for a while picking the album up, so I got it straight from the band's website. And it came just on Saturday. So yeah, it's in a digi, nice colour sleeve, and the album. It's a concept album, and it's about the Peninsular War. It's all about Napoleon trying to muscle in on Europe and all that jazz. So again, it's quite a historical, it's kind of, I guess you could say, similar idea to what Sabaton do with some of their war stories. Because each of the songs underneath them, it tells you kind of what the gist of each song is about, a specific battle in time, or a specific thing that was going on at the time. It just tells you a bit about it all here. The only thing I wondered about, now Cloudy, you've got a copy of this as well, Andy, so I'm just wondering, there is a sleeve here, and I don't know if you got a booklet with it or not, or if they just haven't got a booklet. So I was just wondering if there's meant to be one, if you happen to know or not. But I didn't get one, so I'm assuming that they just haven't made up a booklet, because it doesn't have like the band details or anything anywhere else, which would have been cool, but never mind. This is self-financed. They're not signed to a record label yet, and this is 2019 as well. It's just come out this year, and it's really good. It is kind of traditional style heavy metal, really good stuff. So I'm chuffed to finally have a copy of this. Hopefully they'll come out and maybe get a deal and do another album at some point. And the other one as well, I think these guys are also British. I can't even remember, it's been a while since I checked out their info, but I think they are, and this is Fury, and it's Lost in Space. They have got another album out after that, which I'm trying to find, but that's proven hard to find. Again, I got this from the band's website because their other album is sold out, but this one wasn't. So I got this one off the website, and Lost in Space. It's very kind of, I guess you could say, space metal kind of theme. And actually, I love the artwork, particularly on the back. I think they've kind of sort of taken the idea a little bit from Iron Maiden Somewhere in Time. Up here, for those of you who watched Sky Sports Soccer Saturday, this screen is a bit like Sky Sports here, and that's a bit like Chris Kamara reporting on the match between West Ham and Arsenal. And at that point it says West Ham 3, Arsenal 7. I don't know if that's them getting back at Iron Maiden, because if you look on that album cover you will see West Ham 7, Arsenal 3 along one of the buildings. So I don't know if that's just a bit of tongue-in-cheek there, which I thought was cool. And then you've got Bennett Spa, Let Off Some Steam, and it says Turn Right at Orion. And then you've got Departures for whatever. The first one on the departure board is for Krypton, Planet Kryptonus, so that must be different planets. So yeah, it's all very cool. I just, if you look at the back cover, it's pretty cool. And this again, like, I think, as I say, I think the British, so like this band, are kind of just more traditional heavy metal, and I love this as well. I found them on YouTube. I was sampling them, and I thought, yeah, they're all going on the list. I want their album, so I've got this one. I am looking for the other, and you can see it's just very spacey, indeed. Gazillions of stars there. If you just bear with me. This one, I think they're signed to a record label. There's nothing on the back here actually about that. Let me just check here very quickly. Recorded, blah blah blah. Mixed by Pete Newdeck at Man Cave Studios. Like thing, everyone that's helped us put the great record together, blah 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 blah. Actually, I don't know. I don't see anything about a record label here either. So I'm not sure if at this point. But you know, they've got another album out. I think they're signed, but honestly, I'd need to go back and double check it. But yeah, traditional heavy metal on with a modern twist. Definitely check them out. Very good stuff. Yep. So that is my update. Really chuffed to find Bloodbound. Really chuffed with everything. Getting to know Camelot. Another piece of classical goodness. British metal. Yellow vinyl. And yeah. So, thanks for watching everyone. I shall speak to you all soon, and have a good week ahead. Bye just now.